Alright, we'll get started right now. Just give us one more song essentially. I'll post this, I link a few more places, and see if we get any more people joining this. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on, sorry, I have. What the fuck, dude? Sorry, guys. Fucking. Sorry. Motherfucker. Well, I'll fix that fucking later, dude. Mother effort. Anyways, sorry guys, fucking. We're trying to edit our website, and Gunnar did something, and I had to change it immediately. There was no way I was gonna let that happen. Regarding a payment system. Anyways. Oh yeah, chair. I'm using some reds, bro. Beautiful sound, right? Click, 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 click. It's addicting. Anyways. Alright, let's get everybody's transition. 3. Now that I have the chat up. 3, 2, and 1. What up, family? What up, team? I know I got Ethereum up. But here is why. Here is why I got Ethereum up. Oh yeah, by the way, welcome everybody. Welcome. This is your boy Satoshi motherfucking Heavy signing in here with a daily dose of. I guess it's not daily dose because it's like every 2 days. I would love to do it daily, but that's just too much time on my hands, and I got to develop some time to elevate, and that's just this web stream. So, anyways, welcome everybody to a edition of the Satoshi Shit Show. I guess we'll continue calling it this. Because it's quite the shit show when you're in here with me TAing this chart. So, with that, we got Ethereum USD on our chart at the moment. And let's pop this open. So, the reason why I have Ethereum up here is because I feel like Ethereum has a very clean wave count. Very clean wave count. Very clean. Let me lower this, by the way. Alright, so now we could hear my voice a little bit better. Okay, so again, here's Ethereum USD, and in my opinion, there's a very, very, very clear pattern here that we could possibly trade. And I'm using Ethereum to kind of gauge, Bitcoin as well, because they kind of play 2 and 2. I know people say, "Oh, Bitcoin leads the market," but the market is the market. It's all inclusive. It all moves together. Not one doesn't move before the other. Maybe by a few minutes or like an hour or so, but in general, the market moves together, and you just gotta understand that concept if you're gonna trade crypto. If you don't understand that concept, you're gonna get punished deeply by like saying, "Oh, this is bullish, but this is better," and like being like, "Oh, I'm bullish on this alt," but it's different with alts. Alts are completely different. But I'm talking about the majors: Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin. Those majors right there, they verbatim. You can literally, the charts move pretty much the same. They're not exactly the same, but the movements are the same in regards to when they contract and when they expand in price. So here, in my opinion, in Ethereum, we're on a 13-minute time frame. I know people will probably like a larger time frame, but in my opinion, the 13-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame provide me with the most clear view of the market structure. It really makes it so it breaks it down, and I can see how things move fluidly, The 1 hour time frame, all right. But what I wanted to make note of is the fact that this was impulsive. This does not seem impulsive. The angle of the slope was drastically different. And therefore I cannot deem this part, if I'm going to label this part of this structure, Because there's 2 counts here that I'm going to talk about right now. One of them is we're going over right now, and then the other one I'll throw out because it was previously my primary, but I think I'm going to throw it out because of these most recent findings we'll dive into when we get into the smaller time frame. But for now, listen to me. So if this was impulsive, that looks corrective in regards to that, and this looks fairly impulsive to the downside as well, right? Fairly impulsive, right? And this in Ethereum made a 5-wave decline, which is impulsive, correct? And so if you know anything about Elliott wave, if you have a 5-wave decline and you're labeling it as a corrective phase, that means after your B wave of your first initial corrective phase, you will get a very similar movement out of that. And so once B wave ends, you should look for, at least a 1-to-1 and the same kind of mood, And so since we got 5 waves, we're gonna look for 5 waves as well, right? 5 waves and at least a 0.618, but your target's a 1-to-1, And we missed the 1-to-1, but you see we nailed the 618, and so at this point we could deem this as a completed correction, right? We could deem this as a completed correction, and so what will make us be 100% say we're now moving to the upside. We're now bullish. We're moving to the upside. Because, like I said, we have a very obvious Elliott wave count right here, right? Very obvious. It could. And so, you don't want to be... Because at this point, like I said earlier, we have 2 counts that this could play off into. One's fairly bearish, and one's bullish into the bearish aspect. The bullish into the bearish aspect is the one we're right here talking about right now. And so you don't want to be trying to pick the bottom off necessarily on this patterns, because we're in a very messy corrective phase at the moment, in my opinion. And so finding a very obvious top and bottom in a corrective phase is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult, especially when you're in a very compressed section of it. And in my opinion, we're very compressed in some sort of corrective phase here. And so you don't necessarily want to be buying every single bottom, but you only want to be buying bottoms and tops that make sense, or selling bottom and tops that make sense. And you want to start looking for the market to show you that your idea was correct. You want the market to start proving to you that your idea is correct. Because there's 2 ways to trade this. The first way would have been, we bought this low. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to Ethereum today. I didn't pop up in the chart when I got home, and by that time it was already made the low. There's 2 ways to play it, right? Play Elliott wave: the aggressive style and the non-aggressive, the more conservative style. The aggressive style would have been, you would have bought this low, and the reason why you would have bought this low is because you deemed this the end of a possible corrective phase, and not only did you have a pattern at a larger time frame that is very obvious and very much possible, but if you went 1 degree smaller and got that wave count, you could see that it also was very possible that it was a very possible wave count. And what do I mean by that? If you look into this move here, that move to that move to that move, that's a 5-wave impulse to the downside. And so, like we discussed earlier, if we saw that on the first ride, we're going to look for that on the back end, right? 1, sharp 2, 3. Well, 3 doesn't end right there. My mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you would have bought that low. And the reason why you would have bought that low is because it was a very obvious wave count. Now, you would have probably set your bid at a 1-to-1, because this was kind of landed up in no man's land. So you probably wouldn't have gotten on this buy, unfortunately. I know I wouldn't have, unless I was trading the 1 minute or 5 minute time frame and I saw, where a possible end point is, but I wasn't trading that. I was trading this higher time frame. And so I probably would have placed my bid there. I never placed my bid to the 6-8, because that's just, there's just so much room for downside, or upside, depending on what the pattern is. And you want the market to commit to you before you commit to it when it comes to these smaller retracements and extensions, like the 1-to-1 and like a 0.68. There's still more room to say, oh, we could still move to this level and still be corrective, or whatever, in regards to this pattern you're studying. So you want the market to commit to you if your setup isn't at the most extreme in both time and price. And so in this instance, we didn't get that. We didn't get a most extreme in time and price, and we didn't get the 1-to-1 buy. And this would have been a good buy, in my opinion, because it's right below these lows. So it would have swept that liquidity, these people's stops, and possibly swung it back up for SFP, right? And so at this point, you know, we were discussing how you would have bought that low. You probably wouldn't have bought that low because you didn't get that entry at a 1-to-1. And what would have made me think that this bottom was the bottom was once that fifth wave was broken in less time and complexity. And if you see this here, we have a possible very obvious wave count 1, 2, 3, 5. That's your fifth wave. There's your fourth wave pivot. Your new possible trend, it broke that pivot in less time and complexity. So this would have been a possible buying opportunity on a pullback. And in my opinion, it won't be a bad risk-reward ratio if you're more of the aggressive trader. You know, the more of the aggressive trader, you gotta understand what kind of trader you are, and if you want the market to, you know, commit to you before you get into an entry, or do you want to get a very optimal risk-reward ratio in regards to how close you are to invalidation and stuff like that. And so if you're trying to get into a position here being a more risky, more aggressive, not risky, but more aggressive, because it's not risky. It's not more risky. What's more risky about it is the fact that, you know, you could be wrong and you could move to the downside. The market didn't commit to your idea. But your risk-reward ratio is very, very marginal. And if you actually understand the wave analysis, it's not risky. It's actually very smart. It just depends on how developed you are in the wave analysis, and if you can handle that kind of strategy. Most can't. Most would do better off by letting the market commit to them. And let me discuss to you what that means after I tell you where you'll be looking to buy if you're going to be the more aggressive buyer, which I think, since I'm in the Bybit competition, I'll probably be looking for a possible buy here on Bitcoin if I see what I need to see on the smaller time frames. And so what I really want to see is the golden box of this move up hold. I want this golden box to move up hold. The GB right there, which is approximately 144 on Ethereum. 144 on Ethereum. And so I may put a bid, you know, a small bid in the golden box, and then my stop here, very, you know, like 20% of the entire lot that I'll normally put into. Then I'll place a stop buy for a break of that high, because if my idea at this point is I believe that this looks like a flat, that's going to lead into a bigger flat, right? To the upside though. And so if the bigger flat to the upside is going to be impulsively moving, if this is going to break up above that high, we're deeming this wave 1, this 2, and this 3. And if my idea is correct, I'm letting the market prove that to me by breaking this high, and then we'll see where it goes from there, right? And once it breaks that, I'll move my stop up from there to this point, you know, one of these 2 points, and let it ride from that point, and keep moving it up as price keeps running away. Or if I'm wrong, get stopped out for a marginal loss. Now let's discuss the more conservative approach to the wave analysis and how you would have traded this. Because like I said, this could be an end of the corrector phase, right? But we're not entirely positive, even though we got a 5-3-5. That's very obvious in my opinion. And in my opinion, on the fifth and final wave move of that C wave, it was broken in less time and complexity, which is our 1-2 ticket to looking for a reversal signal. And so if you're looking for the more conservative style, you're going to be looking for a major pivot to be broken in regards to Elliott wave. What are your major pivots in Elliott wave? It's your wave 4-5 point in the impulse, or it's your wave B or X pivot in your corrective phases, or it's your wave E pivot, or your wave D pivot in your triangles. That's what it is. And it's very obvious. It's very obvious because so it's just real quick. On an intershoot. In an impulse, let me explain to you why these pivots work. In an impulse, 1, 2, 3, and then we're coming down for 4, right? Usually in this third wave, if impulsive, you'll see a 1, 2, a 3, 4, and a 5, right? And at this point, say it only hit a 1.618 extension. At this point, we're not sure if it's an A, B, C, or a wave 1, 2, 3, 4 into a 5, right? Well, you're gonna be looking at these pivots to be broken. Wave 5 pivot, wave 4 to 5 pivots right there, and typically, you know, price would go there. If it's gonna be a true impulse, it'll break back up. If it's not, it'll break that pivot and continue down. And same thing with an ABC, So like you get an ABC, and your first impulse would be like be there and start coming here, and your buy zone will be here because that's a very strong pivot in this corrective phase. You'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that pivot will be very strong. 1, 2, 3, buy there, and you're expecting this to be 1. You know, 1, 2, 3. You move your stop up from, you know, wherever the hell you put your buy in here. You just move your stop up to basically your entry to see where this goes. You know, after a few closes, because this could come there and retest and then get you immediately out, but you don't want to do that. You want to wait for a few closes, wait for price to move away, and then you move your stop and set yourself for zero risk trading. Some people hate zero risk trading and say, and because they're like, oh, you can get stopped out and you can still be the price can move on without you. Okay, but the key is we didn't lose any money. We didn't make any money, but we didn't lose any money. And the point and the key to trading is longevity and figuring out how to protect and conserve your capital. So, like I said, if you're more of an aggressive buyer, you're gonna be looking for a buy on Ethereum near the golden pocket around 144, 140, 145. With a stop buy just above the highs at 146, 146.50. And then if you're a more conservative trader on an Elliott Wave trade principle, you're going to be looking for a buy on a break of the B wave here, or wave 4 in our circumstance here. Because we believe, like I said, we believe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Right? We believe this is a 5 wave impulse. And what do we just go over right now? A break of that 4th wave is that pivot is very important in regards to trend. Where this trend is going to go, if it's going to sustain itself or is it going to break down. Usually when this wave 4 pivot is broken, that's a telltale sign that you have indeed moved on to a new trend. So let's just pay attention to that real quick. So I do like this no matter what. I do like this to do this at a bare minimum. At this point, I'm not sure if this will curl over, because this could be, you know, a 1, 2, and a 3. We're about to go over the bearish aspect here. The bearish aspect will be, this will be a flat. This what I don't like it as much, honestly, but I do like it. So W, A, B, 5 wave impulse C, right? X, A, B, C, and then a Y. A, B, C. Those are my only 2 counts. The only 2 counts that I could see that are very logical in regards to the wave analysis. All other ones don't make any sense to me. These fit both time and price, and we're not going to go over why they fit it, or I'm not going to show you that they fit it. Just believe me that I did my homework prior to this, and these counts work in both time and price. Okay? So now let's move on to Bitcoin. Regardless, I see this as a temporary low, at least to 146 to 148. Closing above 148 would be bullish. And would, in my opinion, be a telltale sign that our count is this indeed. A, B, C. But the cool thing for us right now that we could play both sides of this idea very simply. Because If it breaks the low, the current low, it should continue down pretty aggressively. So that means that your stop at that low should also be a stop sell to enter short. But you also must understand that if you do have that, also put a conditional open for a stop loss for that short on the break of that low. You don't want to be caught in a double bad position. And then on the top side, say if we are right, and this does move up to that upside, well, now you're wondering, do I take profit and go for a short to the downside? No, you play smart. You play both ideas. You play both ideas. And how do you do that? All you do is move your stop up. So say you buy in here, your stop's at low. The stop's at low. Price moves up to there. Move your stop up to that high right there. Because if it is going to be impulsively moving up in this C wave, we should crack this, break it, just completely fly through it. But if it's going to be wrong and it's going to be a rejection point, you dive into the intraday, like 13-minute, 5-minute time frame. Look for rejection points right there. Look for, if you're in my group, look for momentum to shift bearishly. Look for our candles to shift bearishly. And then you might want to take disregard the stop, take profit, and then look for a short. Once this level right here is broken again, or this trend line here, because your 1-2 trend line should never break in an impulse. Never break in an impulse. So if your 1-2 trend line can never break in an impulse, we already know we have a very logical trading plan once that trend line is broken, right? So that's where you should trade this. That's where you go about this, trading this. What's up, Infamous? What up, brother? How you doing, man? How you doing, brother? This Bitcoin. So that worked out well, right? Below here, sorts of interest. So let's get rid of these little fuckers. So this is an old chart kind of for Bitcoin. It's not the one I've been updating. The one I've been updating is over here. So this is my price action chart for Bitcoin. It's just, we have levels for the monthly open, the weekly open. I'm still a believer on that. We're in this channel here. Don't disregard the channel. Once the channel is broken, that's when we can start thinking of the other way. This looks like it could be one or two things. One I consider is very bearish. It could be like a running flat. And this could just be A, B, and C into the depths and pits of hell. Damn, my fucking computer makes this fucking area hot as fuck, dude. Support till it's broken. That's all I'm saying. Support till it's broken. It is not good that we broke these trend lines, but this can be just one gigantic flat, and yeah. So just be aware. Again, if I believe what I believe in ETH, I should probably believe what I believe. Ooh, let me check something though, since I had another idea in Bitcoin. Is it possible that this is a running flat I just missed? Someone asked, could this be a flat, like an A, B, C? I mean, I can, but I don't like it. Don't like it too much. Oop, wrong one. So again, don't fight it. If you're with me, don't fight the trend. Don't, like I said, we're not trying, even though we have a very obvious wave count, you don't have to be trying to buy the bottom here. especially on Bitcoin. Bitcoin was not as clean as Ethereum, so Bitcoin really didn't give us that clean idea for a buy opportunity on that low there. You just would have had to know to take that up. This Bitcoin still looks like it wants to make one more low, and I'm not willing to commit to Bitcoin until we either get one more low that could deem us a fifth wave. So that means that an idea could be complete, and therefore, why not take a stab at that? And or if price could break above this level here, then I will be bullish. Then I'll be bullish, just to at least that high there, like that. A loss of this low on an hourly time frame, 7106, and I am bearish to the bottom, about 6.8 to 6.8 to 6.7. And if we are to break low, our count on Bitcoin will be this. Oh, I get rid of this. Go back to that. We can. So I mean, I kind of made a flat, then it broke down. So again, that's wrong. I was wrong. Well, not wrong. I wasn't our primary. That was an option that was possibly there. We didn't show itself. We've been short from about here. We unfortunately didn't get the top short, but as soon as we got the rejection, I said all shorts were open. It's my Elliott wave chart for Bitcoin. I believe this is wave 1 of an impulse. This box, I don't know. Something about this box right here just screams at me. It's like saying, like, we want to touch it. So, for Bitcoin, the two counts are this. Again, this is a giant, same thing as Ethereum. This is a giant move, flat. Right, giant flat. This is X, and then we're about to put in a W. This could be A. This could be, that could do that, and now be A, B, C. If we do this shit, I'm for certain that we're doing this. If we chop around down here like this, we're doing this for sure. If we chop around doing this, we're doing this for sure. If we get any sharp rises out of this, then I'm pretty certain that it's this. A, B, C. A, B, C. Flat. Again, what would make me believe this was it? A break of that level there will make me commit to the market. Will make me believe that the market committed to us in regards to this idea here. Until then, I wouldn't be risking a buy on Bitcoin. The only way I'll be risking a buy on Bitcoin is if we make one more low at this moment. Even though I know previously I said I was going to think about making a buy on Bitcoin due to the way Ethereum looked. Ethereum looks very complete for a flat. Bitcoin looks like it's missing something. Well, it could be missing something. It could move up, but it still could move down and be logical. So I'd rather wait for that to show itself or not show itself and then enter, not guess. So what I'm watching here is any diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diagonal. Buy light with a loose, not a loose stop, because I don't want to be down. I don't want to be holding any bag down here. I'd probably buy it with a nice tight stop. I look for like the 1 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame to really show me like a Elliott wave count on the smaller time frame to see if I can find invalidation point. Like if wave 1's the longest wave, then I know wave 3 cannot be the shortest. So I'll use that 1-to-1 aspect of wave 3 to find my stop for my entry. That's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. But since Ethereum looks complete, I would be willing to say a stop buy over Bitcoin's previous high at 7,277 would not be frowned upon. Because at that point, the market would commit to us. Is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or is this just a running A, B, C, and then we're coming down for that 5th wave, you know? Looks more impulsive to the downside, so I am, like I said, I'm not going to be wanting to long this at the moment, but a break of that will make me probably step into a long situation, and I'll put my stop right there and see if this actually comes to that point like we assume it would be. The pattern I'm looking for us to declare this as complete or valid is this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And since wave 3 is the shortest in this aspect, we can find a very logical stop for this position that we'd be willing to take here. So your stop would be at just below 7,040. You never want to put it just, you know, even though the rules are rules and they're what I believe in them all verbatim, you got to understand that we are in a very illiquid market and price likes to move sometimes greater than our invalidation point and still be valid in our idea. So we want to put ourselves just beyond that invalidation point, just beyond. So you'll be looking primarily for a hot spot for when wave 3 is shorter than wave 1 is the 6 to 8 extension right there. It's usually a really hot spot for wave 5, like really hot spot. So I wouldn't be willing to be buying that low because it can still get really close to this 1-to-1, and I'll be more willing to buy when it's closer to this 1-to-1, you know, because then I can have a better risk to reward ratio. I'd be able to buy here with my stop there. I'll be extremely good risk to reward ratio, and I'll be able to put in more of my lot, more into my lot, and still risk the same amount than if I were to start buying up here. So if price does hit here, how would I know if this was the low? Well, it's simple. If price reacts from this low point in less time, reacts and breaks this high in less time and complexity, then did it get here? And if it does that, then that is our go-to signal that is a possible reversal. And all we do is use value range theory rules to determine that we are indeed at a reversal. Look for that GB to hold on that retrace, and if it does, look for that. You buy more on that break. Boom. But again, you won't be trying to buy that because it could still flutter towards that 1-to-1, which will be a better opportunity than right there. So don't buy there. Wait till here. Get your really good risk-to-reward ratio. That will be a better opportunity. Or let the market commit to you and prove to you that this was a possible low and let it retrace this move in less time and complexity. That will give you a yes, and yes it will. But this is why we play. Oh no, well it depends. Like this little move here, it won't bring Ethereum below its low, in my opinion. That won't bring Ethereum below its low that we currently see. Yeah, in my opinion, if Bitcoin breaks that low, see how Ethereum is a little bit like kind of higher up. So I think Ethereum would do that. Hit the 618 retrace of this move up. While Bitcoin breaks that low, then it'll do that. If that happens, I'll be really bullish. If this happens, but if Ethereum does break that low with Bitcoin, then I'll be more bearish, to be honest with you. But if Ethereum holds this low, or even better, holds the golden box of this current move up, while Bitcoin makes a new low, and then Bitcoin flips back above that low break, I am bullish as fuck. Okay? Alright, you guys. Alright, that's essentially freaking it, man. Essentially freaking it. I'm trying to be a little bit quicker for these, midweek analysis updates, because no one wants to hear me ramble for 2 hours in the middle of the week for three times a week, and then another time on Sunday for another 2 hours. No one wants to do that. So I'm gonna keep these short, fast, sweet, but hopefully insightful and value, and you guys can take value from this. So, if you took value from this, you took anything from this, learned something from it, got a new idea, please drop down a comment. Tell me what I could do better. Tell me what you liked. Thumb it up. Subscribe to me. Hit the notification on so you can know what I'm going online, because I don't always post these on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Sometimes I just stream for my members, and my members will know, but you won't know. The only way you to know is if you hit that notification. So that's on you. Anyways, this is about the time where I start wrapping things up, because we're only going to start cover intraday stuff during the week. On Sunday, we will cover the high time frame stuff. All this is just intraday stuff, looking for day trades for the week. Then on Sunday, we'll look for the entire, making sure the entire count is still correct, or if we need to switch it up and look for something else, all right? And then also on Sunday, we cover Forex. We cover Forex on Sunday. During the week, I don't really pay attention to day trades in Forex. I just do like weekly swing. They're not really swing trades, but weekly trades where I just hold on for like 4 or 5 days during the week. I never try to hold on the weekend. And since my account in Forex is a lot smaller than my account in crypto, I have to trade it. I can't trade it as aggressively than I do as crypto. So, anyways, thank you. This is now your time to ask me any questions in regards to Ethereum or Bitcoin, or this is also a time for you to ask me to possibly look at any other charts in regards to cryptocurrency. So any alts, Litecoin, whatever you want to call it, the one that whatever the one that just got crushed, Mana, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the one that just got fucking destroyed. Yeah, rest in peace, Matic, bro. For real, bro. But yeah, for real. And I'm a believer that this is a correction. This just looks too clean not to try. If this right here, if that low would have broke this low, I probably would be more on the bearish side, like that. A, or W, X, and then Y. But since this low was contained within this structure, then we have to assume that it's also contained within a larger degree corrective structure. For real though, bro. Alright, guys. Again, let me know if you have any last minute questions, because I'm going to start wrapping things up. Let me know if you found this insightful, if you found this helpful. Please leave a comment after when this uploads. Shoot, I forget that the live chat isn't comments. Anyway, you can still leave it there. I'll be super happy with that. Oh yeah, by the way, so if you're an Elliott Wave trader, there's 2 ways to trade Elliott Wave. There's the aggressive style, and then there's the conservative style. in my group, I'm going to try to teach you guys what's the difference between both of them. Because we trade the same patterns, but what makes one, like, how do you differentiate between a more aggressive style and a more conservative? What makes the difference, or how can you make the difference? I'm going to hopefully be teaching my members this moving forward. It depends on the situation. If I'm very confident, I'll take the more aggressive approach. But if I'm 50-50, I usually look for the market to show me something, to prove to me that it is indeed a possible correction and reversal. Anyways, guys, thank you. Appreciate y'all. You can catch me again in about 2 days, which would be Thursday. Again, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. on Thursday. You can catch me, your boy, Satoshi motherfucking Heavy, with another edition to the Satoshi Shit Show. Tell your moms, tell your grandma, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell everybody. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start transitioning this out. Raise the volume. And then in about 5 to 10 minutes, we will be 100% gone. You won't have to hear my voice anymore. So with that, again, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment. Please follow me. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button. Follow me on Twitter. Give me a shout out. Tell me thank you. I don't care. I appreciate all you and all your support. So catch me again Thursday at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we'll get this crack-a-lackin'. Thank you. Hope everyone has a great freaking night. This has been your boy, Satoshi motherfucking Heavy, with the Satoshi Shit Show. Peace out. Dude. Dude,